To the outside world, Kamikaze Chris was fearless, a street racing legend with an unshakable will to win and a menacing flat black El Camino. He wasn't born for the spotlight, but he earned his place through grit, passion, and raw talent. Raised in a tough part of Oklahoma City, Chris defied the odds, rising from underdog to fan favorite. But street racing is unforgiving. Just when it seemed he had cemented his legacy, tragedy struck, turning his world upside down. One wrong move could change everything. Then in an instant, the unthinkable happened. A catastrophic crash sent shockwaves through the racing community, leaving everyone asking, what went wrong? And now, as Chris faces the toughest road of his life, one question remains: can he make a comeback? This is the gripping story of Kamikaze Chris and the tragedy that altered his fate forever. Chris, the man behind that menacing, flat black El Camino on Street Outlaws, isn't the kind of guy most would peg as a street racing powerhouse. By all accounts, he wasn't supposed to make it, but time and time again, he shattered expectations. It was never part of some grand plan. Life just took him down this road, and he ran with it. Because for Chris, being the underdog is all he has ever known. Growing up in a tough part of Oklahoma City, Chris didn't have much. His family wasn't just struggling, they were flat out broke. Hand-me-down clothes weren't just secondhand, they were worn thin and past their prime. If he wanted anything extra, he had to earn it himself. And for Chris, there was only one thing worth chasing: racing, but not cars, at least not at first. Chris started with dirt bikes. Ask him why, and he'll say he's not just a car guy, he's a racing guy. If it has wheels, he'll race it. By 3, he was on a motorcycle, and he never looked back. While other kids played in the park, he worked odd jobs just to keep his bike running. Twice a week, he lined up at the starting gate, racing against riders twice his age. But that didn't faze him. He had the hunger, the speed, and the drive to win. That work ethic? He got it from his dad, a successful drag boat racer with one simple rule: you break it, you fix it. Chris took that to heart. He mowed lawns, chopped trees, pumped gas, anything to scrape together the cash for his next ride. From a BMX bike to his first dirt bike, every upgrade was earned. And once he got a taste of real competition, there was no stopping him. Chris wasn't just racing, he was helping others get faster too, especially when it came to their cars. Back in high school, when Kamikaze first crossed paths with Justin Big Chief Shearer, it was like two puzzle pieces snapping into place. Both were fiercely competitive. Both lived and breathed cars, and neither one ever backed down from a challenge. In fact, it was Kamikaze who first gave Big Chief that now iconic nickname. Their bond wasn't just built on speed, it was forged in the late-night grind of the garage. Kamikaze wasn't just the guy talking fast and driving faster. He was the one out in the driveway, night after night, wrenching on Big Chief's 1972 Pontiac Le Mans, better known as the Crow. To them, it wasn't just a car, it was the foundation of their friendship, the machine they built with their own hands, one late-night fix at a time. Before Chris got his hands on the El Camino, the car belonged to his childhood friend, Tyler Flip Pretty. Everybody called it the Elco because it was a Frankenstein build, pieced together with all the leftover parts from their friends' cars whenever they upgraded. But that didn't stop it from making a name for itself. When Flip passed away, his longtime friend Big Chief knew there was only one person who should have the car: Chris. No second guessing, no hesitation. The car had been sitting under a tarp for over a year, gathering dust, waiting for the right hands to bring it back to life. And when Chris finally turned the key, the engine didn't just start, it roared as if it had been waiting for him all along. But a car like that wasn't coming out of retirement quietly. On its first real drive, a rear brake locked up and caught fire, and that was just the beginning. Soon, Chris broke it so badly it needed a full rebuild. He struck a deal to drop in a friend's 582 engine, but it didn't sit right with him. Chris had always built his own engines, and his instincts were spot on. that 582 was a disaster. 13 rebuilds in one season. Race, rebuild, blow it up, repeat. It was enough to break anyone. But when you're chasing speed, that's just part of the game. Chris had had enough of the headaches. It was time to move forward. Digging into his savings, he teamed up with Graham Jones at Fast Times Motorworks to build something serious. An all-aluminum 632 with 4 stages of nitrous. On top of that, he and his buddy Les tackled a back-half chassis conversion right in the garage. The goal? Get back on OKC's top 10 list. By the summer of 2017, he was back in the mix, winning races, making his presence known. But deep down, something still wasn't right. The car wasn't running the way he really wanted, and settling was never an option. Despite all the modern upgrades, the Elko hadn't lost its G-body soul. It was still a little unpredictable, a little wild, just the way Chris liked it. But little did he know, the same car that brought him so much success was about to lead him straight into disaster. Street racing has never been the safest or easiest pursuit, but for those who live for speed, it remains one of the most exhilarating. Fans of Street Outlaws understand the rush, the raw power of high-performance machines, the tension at the starting line, the split-second decisions that can mean the difference between victory and disaster. Crashes are an unavoidable part of the sport. No matter how often they happen, it's always shocking how quickly a finely tuned race car can go from peak performance to a twisted wreck. Few know this better than Kamikaze Chris. Back in July 2020, while filming Street Outlaws, Kamikaze Chris found out the hard way just how unforgiving street racing can be. It wasn't just a minor scrape or a dented bumper. His beloved El Camino was done. The body, chassis, engine, turbochargers, everything was wrecked beyond repair. The car that had carried him to victory, the car that had become a symbol of his relentless drive, was gone. So where does he go from here? That's the question only Kamikaze Chris can answer. But if his past is any indication, one thing is certain, he isn't done yet. To fans, Kamikaze Chris wasn't just another racer. He was a daredevil, a street racing powerhouse who thrived on high-speed competition. His raw skill, relentless determination, and fearless approach made him a legend in the underground racing world. But in street racing, where every second counts and danger is always around the corner, one wrong move can change everything. And then, in an instant, it did. A catastrophic crash sent shockwaves through the racing community. Kamikaze Chris turned tragedy into triumph. After his beloved El Camino was lost in a devastating fire, he salvaged its heart, the engine, transmission, and drivetrain, and rebuilt it into a fierce new C5 Corvette. His fans showed up strong, fueling both his comeback and his brand, Kamikaze Motorsports. Though he mysteriously vanished from Street Outlaws. No Prep Kings in Season 6, Chris never left the race. Still tearing up streets and YouTube alike, his story proves the fire may have taken his car, but never his drive. Like, share, and follow Kamikaze Chris for more raw racing action and behind-the-scenes grit. Thanks for watching.